Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Astrology Chat for October 31st, 2023. Happy All Hallows Eve. The keys for today are to let yourself do something a little bit differently than you're used to doing it before. It could be an action, it can be communication, it can be an applied perspective, but there's something that you're allowing yourself to do in a way that you haven't done before. And especially if you are adding in your intuition, if you're giving yourself a touch of spirit, if you are allowing yourself to apply discernment, which is very important on this day when the veil is so thin, you might be pleasantly surprised about where this leads you. And I say this because we have the moon in Gemini. The moon in Gemini is brothers and sisters, communication, short different distance travel. It's allowing your mind to be quick in the arenas and situations around you. And so as we've been going through a lot of separation from old associations, old perspectives, old ideas, now with this moon in Gemini, there is this beautiful opportunity to apply new ideas, to learn new ideas, to have new experiences. But I want you to be mindful about what you're playing with out here, because there are some elements in the air. It is All Hallows Eve, that not everything is exactly what it seems. And so you need to take your time and allow yourself to apply things steadily instead of just going in for the rush. I say this because we have this moon in Gemini making in conjunction energy with Mercury, Mars, and the sun, the house of Scorpio. And so the house of Scorpio, when it comes in contact with Gemini and a funky energy, is telling you to trust yourself, right? Take your time to actually understand what you're feeling and thinking and what you're seeing, right? The Scorpionic energy allows you to see things underneath the surface. And so there's a subtle application, right? It's not necessarily the words that's being said, but the energy that's being felt, and allowing yourself to learn how to trust that energy, to follow that energy and act accordingly to that energy. So think for a moment if like a Scorpio, the classic example of a Scorpio is that everybody else in the room loves a person, but a Scorpio is looking at them funny because there's something just not quite right. And then later that just quite not right comes out and the Scorpio is sitting there looking at everybody else like, see, I told you. Or maybe the Scorpio didn't tell you, but in tone and in association, they weren't really like hanging out with that person, right? And so it's kind of that energy. It's the energy of like, are you going to trust yourself even if everybody else says something is okay? Are you going to follow your vibe and go towards your tribe, or move away from your tribe if the people around you are doing something or engage in an activity or energy that you don't really trust or you don't really like? And if you do allow yourself to embrace this healing with the sextile to Chiron, you're actually going to trust yourself more. You're going to be able to have more space between people and things that aren't really aligned with you, and be attracted to people who are aligned with you. Now, there's a little bit of a wild card here in the day because we do have Venus in trine with Uranus. And so this is unexpected. This is the unexpected. This is delightful. This is a little bit dangerous, right? This is a little bit walking on the other side of the veil. And if you are not practiced at that, don't play with all the monsters in the dark, darling. Some of them seem really nice, but they can have a big bite in that back end. And even if you know how to take the bites, you still should know how to play with the big boys before you go dancing in the shadows. For people who understand what I'm saying, they can hear what I'm saying there. Especially when we have kind of a sexaquadrant energy with Pluto. So the underworld is in the mix, right? Listen, you can really see who people are if you pay attention to energy. And so continue to allow yourself to develop your trust in applying the unseen in the seen. And again, all happy Hallows Eve. I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow.